race number 14 of 16 in the ARC's Thursday Night Thunder Series campaign. Cody Pennell leads the field to the line with South Carolina's Jason Alexander on his right-hand side, and one of the biggest headlines we'll be talking about all day. Tom Sears, the two-time Thursday Night Thunder champion, 4 points off the lead, not in tonight's race, and these standings are going to take quite the tumble 120 laps from now. Let's see where these drivers decide to end their afternoon. Georgia's Cody Pennell takes us to the line. Green flag is out in the Irish Hills. Let's go racing. Dustin Painter sitting in that second position with Jason Alexander to his outside. The North Carolinian with a top 15 run last week at Charlotte, starting off really well in that second position. Six-time winner Aiden Norman lining up in that fourth spot behind them, with the Talladega winner John Honeybrink sitting in that fifth position, and reigning TNT champion Thomas Andrews lining up in sixth. The number 2 MGD Chevrolet sits ahead of Jack Mulkey in the number 9 Singular Machine. On the high side with Noah Belleville in that 4-1, who caught a nasty slam to his right front quarter panel last week at Charlotte. You can see Belleville already having severe internet connectivity issues. Briley Wright in the number 29 Goodwrench Machine with one eye on that yellow race car, trying to find out just where he's going to end up when he comes back into view. How about Matt Kent in the Coors Light Dodge, the number 31 Machine, lining up behind JK3. Jimmy Kerr the third, running in 10th. He's up 3 places from where he started. Good Hope Georgia's Cody Pennell taking off, already to a 1.2 second lead over Jason Alexander. Dustin Painter right by his side. Now to his left-hand side, Painter trying to find some sort of advantage next to that 5-6. Down the back straight, here comes the 00, the North Carolinian with Aiden Norman in tow. Dustin Painter between the 6-2 and the 5-6 respectively. Further on back, Kentucky's Cody Riggs in that number 3. He's one of a few drivers in those Bluegrass Bandits. Had a good run last week, as did Toby Estes in that 78, sitting right now scored out of this race. Toby not making it, unfortunately. So right now, Cody Riggs and Briley Wright, 2 drivers flying the flag for the Bluegrass State. Briley up to the 9th position. Further up ahead, Jason Alexander still ahead of Dustin Painter, while Cody Pennell holds on to that 1.2 second lead. You'll be able to see that 2-8 just on the left-hand side of your screen. There he goes. Almost invisible. So Pennell off to the races, 6 laps into this one. Ryan Pennell in that number 1-2. The only driver from the Mitten State Pinnell growing up in nearby East Lansing, Michigan, a big fan of the Michigan State Spartans, and here repping those Greg Biffle National Guard colors on that number 12. Ryan says he was actually here the day that Greg Biffle flew those colors and became a lifelong fan. So Pinnell showing some love for the Biff, and hopefully he can cobble together a good run in his home state. Shout out to everybody out in East Lansing watching Pinnell. Matty Kent in that 8th position on an island by himself. 1 1/4 seconds up ahead is Jack Mulkey. 6/10 behind him is Briley Wright. Dustin Painter now running the inside as the 5-6 of Jason Alexander loses momentum out of 2. Aiden Norman has joined the mix, now right behind that 5-6, the 00 and the 5-6, running low side, high side, almost coming together out of the 4th corner, and now splitting both sides of the racetrack. Norman in the 6-2. Looking to get just a little bit closer. Don't forget, last week he pulled off an impressive move to go between Tom Sears and I believe Toby Estes running in the top 3. Was it Cody Pinnell? He went between 2 drivers last week, and that 6-2 pulled off an incredible move in that Wonder Bread machine. Shout out Dustin Painter in the 00, still holding on tightly to that 2nd position. Jason Alexander in the bronze medal spot. And how about Jack Mulkey running a very limited TNT schedule? Jack is up to the 7th position. Hasn't lost anything since he started this race. Jimmy Kerr III drafting with Briley Wright in that 2-9, and Ryan Pinnell drafting off of New Jersey's Patrick Allen, who in typical fashion had a DNF last week at Charlotte. We'll see just how many laps he's bothered to turn up to complete today. Patrick Allen right now holding down the 14th position. Up ahead, you see Noah Belleville blinking violently behind the 3 of Cody Riggs. You can hear just how gentle Cody's trying to be on the throttle, even though he's got Noah Belleville right up his rear spoiler. Belleville blinking and sparking, but still mounting a tough challenge for the Kentucky pilot. Riggs takes the high exit out of turn number 2. Matt Kent now joins the party with Briley Wright and the 7-5 of Jimmy Kerr. Matty looks to go to the inside of that 2-1, the Coors Light Dodge, trying to find some daylight on the left-hand side of that Good Wrench Chevrolet. If you've just recently tuned in, you haven't missed a thing. I'm Rick James. You're watching round number 14, and let's start that giveaway now that we're here. Fans at home, you know what to do. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 14 for your chance to win the Christopher Bell and Dale Jr. diecast. 2 diecasts, 1 winner. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 14 for your chance to win. If you haven't seen them, they're pretty sweet diecasts. Check them out on Rick James TV Twitter and Thursday Night Thunder Twitter as well. Great battle with the 29 of Briley Wright. Matt Kent Let's see here. Try one more time. Oh, you know what? That is my bad. We've got the wrong giveaway code in there. Try it one more time. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 14. See what happens, boys. Talking to Doug Norris and T. Lockhart. Thanks for tuning in. Pop that code in there one more time, and we should have that giveaway up and running. Cody Pennell's lead no longer up and running as far as he thought. Dustin Painter has climbed to within a half second in Cody Pennell's breathing space, and there we go. T. Lockhart testing out the code, and it works. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 14 for your chance to win the Chris Bell or Dale Jr. diecast. Check it out on Rick James TV Twitter and Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. Noah Belleville to the inside of Jimmy Kerr III. Despite Belleville's intermittent blinking, he's challenging and edging Kerr right now for that 9th position. Kerr still holding on tough on the outside. Matt Kent starting to break away with that 8th spot. Noah Belleville now caught his draft, and it's going to be a very, very draft-dependent race today. The 31 of Matt Kent just trying to stay ahead of the competition, little by little doing the best that he can just to break that draft, sort of break wind, if you will. The 56 of Jason Alexander not able to break the wind off of that 6'2 Dodge. The order goes Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet Camaro, Dodge Intrepid, the top 4, and the 6'2 Logitech Intrepid now goes to the inside of Alexander's 5'6 Camaro. Shout out Jason Alexander, who also drove a brilliant race last week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He comes into this 14th round 4th in the point standings. Cousin Cody, who was leading the race a week ago, caught himself with some pit road penalties that ended up finishing outside the top 10. Or no, I believe he finished outside of the top 7. Who knows? But anyway, there's the difference in points. Just 39 points between 3rd and 4th place. Aiden Norman leading Tom Sears, who's not in today's race, by 4 points coming into this round. And Cody Pennell seems to be the only driver who has a close enough chance to make any damage at this point. Pennell leading Dustin Painter inside 0.2 of a second. Lurkin Tom Gaming said, "Good luck, guys. I'm shattered. My iRacing would not clear an error until 1 minute after the registration closed." And there it is. Tom Sears. We definitely miss him. No, it's not the way that we wanted to see his evening go at all. But still, 2 more races remain after tonight. Shout out Lurkin Tom Gaming. And the folks over at 213simware.com. Shout out to them as well. How about this fight for the lead? A brief look at Matt Kent, who's struggling to hold on to his advantage over Noah Belleville. Belleville edging him on the left-hand side. Drag racing down the front straight. 20 laps into this race. Belleville just ahead of Matthew Kent. He's got that 8th position further up ahead. Aiden Norman to the inside of Jason Alexander for 2nd. Dustin Painter in the 00. He wants a piece of Cody Pennell. He's trying to line him up for a pass. Does the 00 have any sort of room on the inside? He does. Painter to the inside. 1/10 of a second separates them now. And Pennell down the front straight with just more momentum. Using the high side of the racetrack, Dustin Painter's going to try and use the shorter distance of the low side. Cody's going to have the greater run outside turn number 2. What's that going to mean for Aiden Norman and Jason Alexander? How about Dustin Painter to the front? The North Carolinians, your new leader at Michigan. roaring down that back straight into the third corner. Cody Pennell on the outside of the 6'2", Aiden Norman. Last week's winner at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and going for his 7th win this season. Cody Pennell with just one W, and he's lost second to Norman. 23 laps now underway, and Dustin Painter in the 00. Ryan Truex Camry sits ahead of Aiden Norman in the 6'2" Dodge Intrepid. Cody Pennell in the Ford Mustang is in third, with Jason Alexander's Chevy Camaro in fourth. Thomas Andrews, reigning champion, in fifth, just ahead of Briley Wright. Jack Mulkey on the outside of Noah Belleville. These two fighting for 8th. Matthew Kent's gone down to the 9th spot, and Jimmy Kerr is 1 second off of him. Aiden Norman still trying to clear Cody Pennell, but the Georgian will not let that second place go without a hard fight. 6'2", just ahead of that 2'8", while the 00 of Painter starts to trail away. The Napa Camry looking for some more daylight between himself and Aiden Norman. Painter still leading as the 6'2" of Norman takes a really high exit out of the 4th corner, but he's got a great run. Norman now to the inside of Painter, but he just can't quite find enough room. Poor exit for the 6'2", but he's going to look to get a great exit out of 2. Matt Kent looking to go to the inside of Jack Mulkey in the number 9 singular Chevy. This is the battle for the 9th position. Aiden Norman, will he try the crossover into 1? He's got Cody Pennell watching his every move, waiting for a mistake. Dustin Painter holding on to that lead bravely, leading a few laps today. And who knows, the rookie might just learn a thing or two. Matt Kent now working to the inside of Jack Mulkey. These two drag racing for the 8th position. Let's ride on board with Kent. Painter and Norman just inches away from making contact, while Cody Pennell watches these two intensely. Norman going to try to do it the hard way on the outside. Aiden Norman looking to find any sort of leverage on Dustin Painter. He's got him by 1/10 of a second into turn number 3, but can he make that race car stick? Painter on the inside, Norman on the outside. Who's going to lead lap 27? It's going to be Aiden Norman by 0.2 of a second. Your new leader at the Michigan Speedway, Dustin Painter in second, and Cody Pennell now in third. For the time being, of course. Norman leading this race. Painter in that second spot. Pennell in third. Was that Painter making contact with the outside wall? Painter now down to third as Cody Pennell gets to his inside, and the North Carolinian does indeed make heavy contact with the turn 2 wall. Let's have a look. You can already see the contact's been made. See if we can get a good look on just the right-hand side of Dustin Painter's machine. You'll see a big scrape. Yeah, there it is. So Aiden Norman continues to lead. North Carolinian Dustin Painter is in that second position. Cody Pennell sits in third, while Jason Alexander still holds on to fourth by 1 second. Ryan Pennell being overtaken by Jimmy Kerr on the outside, but the local driver from Lansing will fight up the left-hand side of turn number 4 with Jack Mulkey. Quietly in that distance, Thomas Andrews and Noah Belleville now duking it out for that 6th position, while Ryan Pennell cracks the top 10 for the first time today. Patrick Allen and Tristan Catania also locked in battle to hold down the last position today. Tristan in the 16th position, Patrick in the 17th position. Aiden Norman leading by just 0.7 of a second. Dustin Painter in second, and here they all come down pit lane. It has begun. All of these drivers, every last one of them, making their way through except for Ryan Pennell. Pennell will take the race lead, and he will be the new leader at the Michigan International Speedway on lap 31. Tommy Withers also deciding not to pit. And how about Elridge George from Nassau in the Bahamas? He led a few laps last week at Charlotte by also staying out. John Honeybrink in 4th, Tristan Catania and Cody Riggs, all of the top 6 have not pitted. So let's see just where this leaves them. Ryan will indeed come down pit road. Tommy Withers will join him. Elridge George will join him as well. How about John Honeybrink? He will come down pit road, and on lap 31, will Tristan Catania dive down for service? He will not. So New Jersey pilot Tristan Catania will be the new leader on this 32nd lap of competition. Cody Pennell in that 7th spot. He's ahead of Aiden Norman by just a few tenths of a second. How hard is Aiden Norman going to push to get the lead away? And where is Dustin Painter in that 12th spot? Painter with an average pit stop time, but coming out behind Noah Belleville. Tristan Catania still your race leader. He hasn't come in yet. And all eyes on Cody Pennell, but it looks like Tristan will now come in, just staying out to lead that bonus lap for himself. Cody Pennell in a drag race with Aiden Norman for what will be the race lead. Norman gets around Cody Pennell on lap 32. Jaco Alexander in that 4th position by 1 second over Briley Wright. Dustin Painter now looking to get to the inside of the blinking Noah Belleville. .240 miles, the scheduled distance of what you could call the TNT quarterfinal. Next week, the semifinal from the Bristol Motor Speedway, and then the championship decider from Homestead, Miami. We've got one taker on the way to pit road. It's going to be John Honeybrink from the 14th position. Could be a penalty for Honeybrink. Local says, guess who's here? Aiden Norman's #1 fan. Aiden Norman's ride or die, if you will. Local deciding to join the party. Glad to have you here, my friend. Aiden Norman leads Cody Pennell by 0.2 of a second. Matty Kent went green. 39.8 seconds. How about Ryan Pennell also going green, as well as Tommy Withers behind him? Let's sit in the passenger seat with Withers in that 6 Valvoline Ford. Fans at home, don't forget, exclamation point TNT giveaway 14 for your chance to win that Chris Bell and Dale Jr. diecast. Check it out on Rick James TV Twitter or Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. 2 diecasts, 1 winner, but you got to put the code in Twitch to win. And folks watching on the Sim Racing channel on Roku can also get in on the fun too. Log on to Twitch, exclamation point TNT giveaway 14 in Twitch chat for your chance to win. Aiden Norman leading Cody Pennell by 1/10 of a second, but this very draft-dependent track putting Cody Pennell in what you'd call the catbird seat behind that 6-2. The 28 just staying right in the wake of the Logitech Dodge. 37 laps now complete from the Michigan International Speedway. Tommy Withers right on the outside of Ryan Pennell in the Ford Taurus, looking to overtake the Ford Fusion. Withers, will he give it the crossover out of Ford? No, but he's following right in that draft. Top side now for the number 6 car. Will he make it work on the high side of 1 and 2? Repeat says he wants that Hellman's car in his collection. Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Repeat 1975. Folks, if you don't know, now you know. For a premier sim racing experience, look no further than Repeat 1975. He does some ARCS races himself, talking about the SNS Truck Series. As you're looking at Cody Pennell drag racing Aiden Norman for the lead. I've said it again, and I will say it again. If you don't rock with Pete, I don't rock with you. Check him out, twitch.tv/Repeat 1975. Pete, how are you, buddy? Glad to talk to you as always, man. Send my love to the 1975 family. Cody Pennell has taken the lead from Aiden Norman and Good Hope, Georgia's Cody Pennell is your new leader on lap 40. We'll have 80 laps to go next time by. How about JK3 on the inside of Jack Mulkey in that number 9? Was that a big scrape on the right-hand side of Cody Pennell? We'll have to have another look at that 2-8 car. No, possibly. Maybe some damage on the outside of Norman, but one of those cars looks like it is Norman in the 6-2. May have made some serious contact with that wall, and he's got a big dent on the right front fender. See if we can find out, and that is Aiden Norman scraping against the wall on the outside of 2. Big problems for Aiden Norman. He may have taken on some damage. Cody Pennell still ahead by 0.2 of a second down this back straight. Does Norman stay in line, hoping that the damage isn't enough to where it keeps ruining his car over time, or does the 2.8 start to run away with this one? The Logitech Dodge with a championship on the line. Just inside 80 laps to go, and shout out to the 1975 family. Pete saying his kid won his soccer game 1-0. Next step, Pete, you got to make your kid a Liverpool Football Club fan, and there is no other option. You know what? As long as it's not Manchester United, Pete, we'll be fine. But let's try and go for Liverpool Football Club. That's going to be your kid's best option, hands down. 2.862. Your top 2, while I try to get people to make their kids like my favorite soccer team. Jason Alexander's 4 seconds behind this duel for the lead. And if you've just recently tuned in, we've been caution-free in these first 43 laps. Pete says Man U is huge. Oh, absolutely. Manchester United, one of the biggest football clubs in the world, bar none. Liverpool just happens to be a whole lot better for many, many, many reasons. Now, as I sip my beverage in silence and pompousness over how much I like Liverpool better than Manchester United, The race for the lead continues to go on while I don't pay attention to it. Aiden Norman on the outside leads lap 43 by 6/100ths of a second, but it's not the only drag race going on, because you've got Thomas Andrews, the reigning champion, with Lansing, Michigan's Ryan Pennell on the outside. Ryan growing up just about an hour away from this racetrack, going to school at the university, Michigan State University. Almost got that one wrong. Can't do that here. And Tommy Withers behind that National Guard Ford, trying to wiggle his way into place. You're looking at 9th, 10th, and 11th, respectively. Noah Belleville sits ahead of Dustin Painter, and you can instantly tell Belleville still having those internet issues, but no contact for him so far. Aiden Norman still in the lead as he's on the wall again, and it goes from bad to worse for the 6-2. The North Carolinian scraping the Logitech Dodge on the outside and losing all the momentum to Georgia's Cody Pennell. That 28 Ford Mustang rockets into the lead by 1 second. Six-time winner Aiden Norman putting more stripes on the outside retaining wall of Michigan International, and the 6-2 now invites pressure from Jason Alexander in the 56. Tommy Withers now on the outside of Thomas Andrews, this for the 10th position, while Ryan Pennell sits ahead in the 12th, watching all of this unfold. Cousin Cody out to a half-second lead ahead of Aiden Norman. There's the difference over the last 5 laps between Cody Pennell and Aiden Norman. You saw Norman slower by 1.2 seconds, but that last lap, Norman was quicker than Cody Pennell by 1/10. Completing lap 47, we'll see just how hard Norman is pushing it. He's still 1 second off the pace of the Georgian. Cody Pennell looking for his second win this season, and there are the points headed into round number 14. Cody Pennell is 39 points away from Aiden Norman, and if ever there was opportunity knocking on the door of the 4-time Thursday Night Thunder winner, it would be in the glow of the Michigan sunset forming in his rear view mirror. Last time around, Cody Pennell 0.2 quicker than Aiden Norman with more than 70 laps to go in this race. Literally anything is still possible, and to count your chickens at this point would be all but foolish. How about Jack Mulkey trying to count some chicken on the outside of Ryan Pennell? Well, they go 3 wide down the front straight, just not enough room. But here comes Tommy Withers trying to make room on the inside of Ryan Pennell. Jack Mulkey in that singular Chevrolet, driven, I think, by Robbie Gordon, but if I'm wrong, wouldn't be the first time. Someone do correct me. But the Robbie Gordon singular machine now behind the National Guard Ford. And here comes the TNT MGD Chevy Impala, driven by Thomas Andrews, the New Jersey pilot. He wants to join this mess too. We'll see what becomes of it. 8th through 12th, separated by a few tenths of a second, and Thomas Andrews throws away the opportunity to play with the rest of his friends from the 8th position. Here's Ryan Pennell leading the line down the front straight. Briley Wright sits ahead of Noah Belleville by fewer than 0.2 of a second. Belleville continues to blink like a red light at a 4-way stop, but that doesn't stop Belleville from speeding along like some of the guys that choose to ignore that 4-way stop. You ever see that? You ever see somebody at a 4-way stop just blow through it like the light doesn't even exist? Dangerous stuff, man. Belleville's to the inside of Briley Wright, trying to make light work of the good wrench Monte Carlo. And the Valvoline Impala looks like he's going to do just that. Will he put the crossover on the 2.9? He does, and there's contact between the 2.9. The 4.1 saves it. Glove save by Noah Belleville in the 41. He spins it, turns it 90 degrees, keeps it pointed in the right direction. How about that for a glove save from the 41 of Noah Belleville? Let's ride along and check this out. He's going to blink a few times, and then he's going to give the slide job to the 2.9 of Briley Wright, and Belleville just saves it right along with Briley. That time the internet connection just letting Belleville down. But so far, so good. Noah Belleville's down to the 6th position. North Carolina's Dustin Painter cracks the top 5. Cody Pennell's lead back to almost nothing as Aiden Norman's damage on the right side of his car not affecting him in the slightest. The 6-time winner comes back up behind the Georgian looking for some more. And they've got to get a move on because the pit stop window will open another 7 laps from now. These two ahead of Jason Alexander in that 3rd position by 3.5 seconds. Imagine if the North Carolinian gets a 3rd place finish. I believe that would be his 2nd or 3rd podium this season. But it's been a good run, a really good run actually for Jason Alexander. Briley Wright is within 0.4 to the South Carolinian. We'll see what kind of charge Briley can mount on Jayco. Still keeping an eye on this pile right here. Thomas Andrews has rejoined his friends from the 8th position, and as my buddy Repeat would say, this is a hornet's nest, but these are some of the best drivers to handle this problem. Reigning champion Thomas Andrews picking him off one by one into that first corner. Ryan Pennell riding away with the 8th position. He's your race's hardest charger so far. Pennell has gained 9 spots since this race started. Thomas Andrews on the inside of Thomas Withers. That's the move for the 9th spot. Matt Kent sits 4 seconds ahead of all of this riffraff in the 7th spot. Cody Pennell leading Aiden Norman by 0.3 seconds. Norman doesn't appear to have made more contact with the wall. Briley Wright has gotten around Dustin Painter for 4th and left him by 1.8 seconds. Jason Alexander trying to hold off the Kentucky pilot, but the South Carolinian holding steadfast in his 5.6 Camaro. So we've almost reached the halfway mark in this race. Cody Pennell leading by a 0.5 second over Aiden Norman. Out of that 4th corner, we'll see if these drivers pit early. We'll see if they decide to stretch their mileage on this 2nd stint. Jason Alexander now down to the 4th position as Briley Wright has found his way to the inside of the South Carolinian. Aiden Norman patiently waits behind the 2.8 car. When will they make their moves? Jason Alexander, though, is he going to make a move on Briley Wright? You can't forget about drivers like Thomas Andrews and Jack Mulkey fighting hard for position. As we approach halfway, the number 9 Singular Chevrolet currently in the top 10. That's Thomas Withers on his outside. Mulkey just no momentum. Up off turn number 2, and Thomas Andrews will take the 10th spot away from him. Dustin Painter on the top side ahead of Noah Belleville. That's John Honeybrink in the 20, who finds himself in 14th, and it looks like Honeybrink won't come down pit road, but Jason Alexander will. He's going to get the festivities started just before anybody else, and the 5-6 has decided it's his turn to come down first for tires and fuel. There goes Aiden Norman to the inside of Cody Pennell. This is going to be for the race lead just before the pit cycle begins. Is Cody coming down the pits? Is he trying to create some sort of distance for an undercut? What does the 2-8 have in mind? Pennell's going to stay out. Aiden Norman's going to be your new leader on lap 60. Fans at home, if you haven't yet, put it in the chat. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 14. Local asking in the chat, is Donald Ray okay? Where is he? The Texans on a little bit of a vacation, so we're going to let Donald Ray do his thing this week, and I'm sure he's going to be watching on his phone from wherever he's partying it up. Did I say that? I'm sorry. He's on vacation. Thomas Andrews is in 9th. Tommy Withers is on the 8th spot right now. Perhaps the number 2 just taking advantage of the draft from that number 6. Withers holding on to 8th just fine. Noah Belleville's decided he wants to come in. Both of the Tommies decide they want to stay out. But how about Jack Mulkey making the decision to come in behind Matty Kent in the 3-1 Coors Light Dodge? Shout out to Matt for bringing some interesting colors this week. Gotta love that number 40. Well, what was the number 40, but obviously tonight the 31. He comes to a grinding halt behind the 41 of Noah Belleville. Aiden Norman leading Cody Pennell by a quarter of a second, and the kid will come in, but Pennell's gonna cut him around the outside on the way into pit road. Cody coming in at about 55 miles an hour, but he's got to be insanely careful. Last week, Pennell found himself with a speeding penalty in pit road that crippled his chances to win at Charlotte, and it was Aiden Norman taking home all the candy in that Wonder Bread Dodge. Both drivers decide to come down pit road. Who will come out first, though? We're past the halfway mark at Michigan. Pennell's left sides go up just after Norman's. There goes Pennell. He's down just after Norman. Drag race out of pit road, and Cody Pennell will exit ahead of Aiden Norman. Norman just behind him. Gotta stay under that yellow line. Gotta respect the pit exit rules. Don't cross the line prematurely, but they cross the blue cone, and it's race on once again. And at the top, it's going to be Elrich George, who's your new leader. The number 40 from Nassau takes the point once again, just like he did last week at Charlotte. Shout out to all the fans of the Bahamian watching from tropical waters. Cody Riggs is going to come down pit road, and he's going to bring his breast cancer awareness number 3 down for some service. Probably try to fix up those scratches. Speaking of breast cancer awareness, Toby Estes, who was registered for tonight's race but unfortunately could not make it for the start, was going to sport a breast cancer awareness paint scheme as well for his mama, Laverne Marple, out of Greensboro, Kentucky, the 2-time breast cancer survivor. Would have been watching Toby tonight, but shout out to Toby Estes, and we know you're watching from your phone, your computer too, buddy. Cody Pennell is in that second spot. He's going to take the lead from Elrich George as the Bahamian gets service on his race car. 64 laps are underway, and it's all downhill from here. Local in the chat says Norman is playing smart, being smart, and making sure he doesn't make mistakes. There goes Aiden Norman with a big slide out of turn number 2. Speaking of not making mistakes, and he's in the wall in the 62. Aiden Norman with a big mistake out of the second corner, spinning the car on cold tires. He's slammed it on the outside, and the Logitech Dodge is in serious trouble. Aiden Norman with a big mess up outside of the pits. He's going to come into the pits after slamming the wall. Norman with problems, and he's got a lot of adversity now to overcome in the second half of this race. Cody Pennell now leading Jason Alexander by 3 seconds. The South Carolinian in the silver medal slot. And Noah Belleville sits in third. Briley Wright up to fourth, and Maddie Kent in fifth. This is Jason Alexander overtaking Aiden Norman. Now let's run this back. Now let's see if we can find just where Aiden went wrong. And it looks like the cold tires definitely got the best of him. You saw the wiggle outside of turn number 2. There it is right there. Slam into the outside wall. Let's see if we can catch a ride with Aiden and have a listen. One more close look at the 6-2. Nothing you could do at that point. Cody Pennell running away with the race lead now. He's got a 3.5 second advantage. And there is Aiden Norman, who finds himself still on the lead lap. So it's not all over for the 6-2, and a caution puts him right back in race winning position. Fresh new coat of paint, fresh new coat of fixed scratches on the Logitech Dodge. And Cody Pennell looks like he will not chase down the 6-2. Aiden Norman's going to have to make up the time by himself. Possibly get by with a little help of the caution. Still plenty of racing to go. Over 50 laps to the end of this one. Defending TNT champion Thomas Andrews has gotten around Thomas Withers. They're sitting 8th and 9th, respectively. Ryan Pennell continues to be the race's hardest charger, up 10 places from where he started. And the local from Lansing is in the 7th position, chasing down Dustin Painter. But how about Noah Belleville and Briley Wright? Briley's going to chase down Belleville for the bronze medal position. Let's ride in the passenger seat with the 2.9 Goodwrench machine. Last time the 41 and the 29 were nose to tail like this. Belleville tried to give a slide to the 29 of Briley Wright. It ended up turning the 41. You can still see the damage from it on the left side of that Valvoline Chevy. Briley Wright's going to make it happen on the outside using the momentum out of turn number 4. And one of those Bluegrass Bandits from the Bluegrass state of Kentucky is up into the 3rd position. So it is a Ford Mustang, Chevy Camaro, Chevy Monte Carlo. Top 3 with 4.5, almost 5 seconds of difference between Cody Pennell and Jason Alexander. Belleville in fourth. Briley Wright now running away with the third position. And Thomas Andrews trying to run away from Tommy Withers, but a big tail whip from the defending champion. Good run for Andrews. He's up into the 8th position. Aiden Norman in the 11th spot in that number 6'2" Logitech Dodge. Catching up after that terrible mistake out of turn number 2, he's chasing down Elrich George, who's in the 10th position, 10 seconds ahead, and there you can see the difference last time around. Aiden Norman, 0.2 quicker than the Bahamian. Lap 71 complete for Aiden Norman. Survey says that time around, Elrich George almost 0.4 slower than Aiden Norman. So we'll see where the race progresses. Still no cautions in these 73 laps of TNT racing. Cody Pennell ahead of Jason Alexander by 5.5 seconds. Tommy Withers in the number 6 chasing down Thomas Andrews. Cars last pitting between laps 58 and 65, so you can expect, again, between 25 and 35 laps. About 30 laps is where they'll go, so expect these cars to make one, perhaps maybe 2 more fuel stops. And, of course, if the green-white checker comes into play, you're going to see a lot of crazy pit stop strategies. Some guys going for 2 tires, maybe no tires. Will it come down to fuel? We'll see if a caution even comes out at all. Anything is still up for grabs at Michigan International. So far, the fastest lap of the day going to Cody Pennell, 39.55 seconds. That just a little bit off of the qualifying lap record, 206 miles an hour, the average speed, and that's nothing, quite literally, compared to the kart record, I believe, set by Paul Tracy. 30.645 seconds, an average speed of 234.9 miles an hour. These guys won't be going quite that fast. How about Thomas Andrews hitting about 184 into turn number 1? Let's see what Cody Riggs will put together here. Well, this is out of turn number 2. Jason Alexander following Cody Riggs. Let's see what Jayco puts up for a top speed headed into turn 1. Flashed 193 for a moment, but for the majority, that said 186. Bahamian Elrich George out of turn number 4. Let's see what the Clearwater Assassin puts up for a top speed. In the draft, he's gone as fast as 193 today. There, the Speedo says 187. How about race leader Cody Pennell? His top speed today, 190 miles an hour. $185 for the Georgian and Jason Alexander. 187. That briefly flashed 191 as well, but 187 there for the most part. Tommy Withers down the front straight. His top speed across the line, 181. Top speed for the day, 188. That time it said 185. Last time around, Briley Wright got 192. Let's see if he can do it again. He's in the draft of Jason Alexander. He's got to get a little closer than that. Right now, the clock's saying 186 miles an hour into turn number 1. Still quite a brisk speed. Dustin Painter catching up to Matty Kent. This for a spot in the top 5. Kent is up 4 places from where he started. Dustin Painter down 3 places from where he started, but over the last 5 laps, there you can see Dustin Painter consistently faster than Matt Kent. And over the last 5 laps, he's been consistently slower than Ryan Pennell, the driver from Lansing, slowly starting to reel in Painter, although these drivers about 6 seconds apart. That time, Dustin Painter quicker than Matt Kent by 0.3. The numbers say that Painter should get around him this time, but we say it a million times, don't we? It's one thing to catch a guy, it's another thing to pass him. How about Briley Wright and Jason Alexander now getting close? Will Alexander try and break the draft down the front straight? Does Briley try and go for it, or does he just chill out for the next 10 laps, knowing that pit stops are coming soon? Alexander to the inside, trying to break that draft. Briley Wright trying to follow in that wake. They go left. They go right into that first corner. Briley Wright sailing off at about 185 miles an hour, taking the left-hand side on the South Carolinian, and we'll see how they drag race down the back straight. Advantage Alexander. There goes the 2.9 to the left-hand side. Briley Wright looking to pull that off. About to complete 80 laps of racing. Briley Wright on the inside of Jason Alexander. This for the second position. Drag race across the line, and it's Jason Alexander by 4 lonely 100ths of a second. But Briley Wright does not give it up. Still on that left-hand side, Alexander tries to stay off the wall. Jayco just can't hold off his rival from Kentucky, and the Gamecocks fan in that third spot. The Monte Carlo of Briley Wright will peel away. Lurkin Tom in the chat says, good racing there. Good to have Lurkin in the booth. Well, Lurkin's in the chat. Let's see if we can get him up here. Dustin Painter has finally caught up to Matt Kent. But can he get around him? The driver of the Coors Light Dodge sitting in that 5th position. The North Carolinian in the Ryan Truex liveried Camry looking to get to the left-hand side. Just can't quite get there. This all before pit stop cycles, mind you. Will the drivers risk a little bit of damage? Or will they just take it easy right before what could be their final stop? Again, drivers expected to go about 30 to 35 laps on one green flag stint. So if they pit around lap 90, it's going to be cutting it way too close for my kind of comfort. Dustin Painter now trying to find daylight to the inside of Matt Kent. He's level with him down the back straight, but can he make that stick? Kent on the outside, Painter on the inside into the third corner, and Dustin Painter's got him. He's going to slide up the racetrack. Does Kent have the chance for a crossover? No, not a single chance. So Dustin Painter's going to get into 5th and Matt Kent into 6th. Lockhart asking how far off the cycle is Aiden Norman. Norman is well on cycle. He's within 10 seconds to Elrich George, and over the last 5 laps, there you see Aiden Norman chipping away at Elrich George a few tenths at a time, but just not quick enough to make any considerable effort. Elrich George still ahead of Aiden Norman by 9.8 seconds. And if the race stays green, Norman's going to need a caution to get back into race winning contention, but we say it all the time, anything is possible. John Honeybrink 2 laps off the mark in the 14th position, trying to break the draft from Aiden Norman. Jason Alexander 0.7 of a second ahead of Noah Belleville. And there's the difference. Over the last 5 laps, Noah Belleville has been chopping away at that lead. Last time around, Belleville was quicker than Alexander by over a tenth. If you haven't done so, don't forget we're giving away a Christopher Bell and a Dale Jr. diecast tonight. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 14 for your chance to win. T. Lockhart is in. Repeat is in. Local is in. Becca Norman is in the giveaway. But are you? Exclamation point TNT giveaway 14. It's a free chance to win. Why not? Just type it in the chat. Who knows? You might win a couple diecasts. Half a second now between Noah Belleville and Jason Alexander, and despite the awful internet connection for Belleville tonight, he's within half a second to the South Carolinian. Dustin Painter also starting to get within 1 second, but making it difficult for him. All eyes on Cody Pennell, who last pitted on lap 61, so you can expect the Georgian to visit pit road in these next 4 to 5 laps. How about Briley Wright up 10 places from where he started? Same with Ryan Pennell. On an island by himself here. Jason Alexander now witnessing Noah Belleville get in his rearview mirror, but using Cody Riggs for a draft down the back straight. Belleville will take the opportunity to get to the inside of Cody Riggs, and he'll make light work of the 3-car, who's in the 12th spot. He's going to use that momentum to get to the inside of Jason Alexander, and he's played it perfectly. Belleville now in the 3rd position, 2 seconds behind Briley Wright in 2nd. 88 laps underway. If you've recently tuned in, I'm Rick James. You're watching round 14 of Thursday Night Thunder. And if you're watching on Twitch, on YouTube, on the Sim Racing channel, on Roku, maybe even at Smokey's Bar over in Greensburg, Kentucky, we appreciate you coming through this and every single week that you've come through to Rick James TV. Just a little more than 2 races remain in this 5th season calendar. These are the points headed into round 14. Aiden Norman leading Tom Sears by 4 points, but Norman right now finds himself in the 11th position. Tom Sears not in tonight's lineup. We'll see just where these points tumble at the end of the night. Still a lot of racing left. Cody Pennell, 39 points off of Aiden Norman. And if things hold the way they are with this running order, I'm telling you, that 39-point lead is going to go down big time, and we're going to have a grandstand finish with 2 races to go in this championship, the semifinal, next week for iRacing's Bristol Motor Speedway. Noah Belleville is down pit road. He's decided it's his turn to come in. He's going to get tires. He's going to get fuel, and the 41 car. You think they can work on his internet connection while he's in pit road too? Fingers crossed. Hope for the best. Briley Wright now leading this race. Cody Pennell, is he out? Is Cody Pennell and Ryan Pennell both being shown out of this race? Briley Wright is the race leader. Briley Wright in first place. Cody and Ryan Pennell being shown out of this race. And cousin Cody, with every opportunity given to him, let down by his internet connection. Cody Pennell out. Ryan Pennell out. Briley Wright, your race leader. Jason Alexander in 2nd. And defending champion Thomas Andrews in 2nd. Lap 89. It says here, Cody Riggs passing Cody Pennell. Let's see when this happened. Cody Pennell just possibly losing that internet connection. There's the 28 down the back straight. This is on lap 88. And we'll see just where it goes, but around this point in time, Cody Pennell just not here. Just the internet connection. Fails the 28 car. And let's see if we can run this back one more time. Phil is in the giveaway as well. ENEA Shotgun is in that giveaway. Trying to find the moment that Cody Pennell just exited this race. Not sure, but it looks like it hasn't come back. Both the Pennell cousins, Ryan and Cody, out of this race. That's 5 cars now with a DNF tonight. Race leader Briley Wright is in, and the running order has been turned upside down. Rookie Aiden Norman may have just very well been thrown a lifeline. Christian in the chat saying guys who can't win last week, or normally, guys or girls who win the week before are not eligible to win in this week. Yes, everybody is eligible to win. So Christian, if you want to, go ahead and put that code in there. We've got 2 diecasts. We're giving away the Christopher Bell and Dale Jr. diecast. Put exclamation point TNT giveaway 14. 1 fan will win, and anybody who did win last week is eligible for tonight's prizes. Thomas Andrews, your new leader on lap 94. Aiden Norman now leaving pit road. He's down to the 10th position. Andrews ahead of Elridge George by 5 seconds, and only the top 2 have yet to pit. Noah Belleville within 14 seconds to the Bahamian. And Cody Pennell on course to get his 2nd victory this season after a dominant part-time performance last season. Out of this race due to internet connections. Elridge George will now go on the outside of the front straight. He will overtake Thomas Andrews, who's coming down pit road. And the Bahamian, once again, is your new leader. Christian enters the giveaway. I'm blown away. I just can't believe it. The only thing that could have stopped Cody Pennell tonight would either have been the caution or his internet connection failing, and it happened. Jason Alexander has Dustin Painter creeping up quickly. 95 laps about to be completed from the Michigan International Speedway. Painter looking to get 3rd away from Alexander. What a run it would be for the North Carolinian if he could secure a medal tonight. Elridge George decides he's going to come down pit road. Noah Belleville will not come down pit road. We can't stay with him given that he continues to blink, but we'll give it our best shot. And Belleville, just with that awful connection, still leading this race. Jason Alexander in the 2nd position, 5.5 seconds behind Noah Belleville. Belleville pitting on lap 90. And we now have 25 laps to go. Tommy Withers goes green, 39.93 seconds, and the Virginian runs his personal best. Aiden Norman with a 39.67 running his personal best. Overtaking Elridge George for that 8th position, and 5 seconds behind Thomas Andrews. There is the defending champion, 0.6 of a second behind Withers. Jason Alexander has Painter coming up slowly with 24 laps to go. This is the battle for 2nd. Thomas Andrews now looking to overtake Virginian Thomas Withers. This is the fight for 6th. Number 6 Valvoline Ford trying to hold off the MGD Impala. They too will drag race down the back straight. advantage. Andrews, the defending champion, in the 6th position, rising up out of turn number 4. He's going to give a slide job to the number 6 of Withers. And Withers trying to just follow him at all costs down the front straight. It will be 21 laps to go next time by. Noah Belleville continues to lead. And I think that's the longest, well, there it is. I was going to say that's the longest that Noah Belleville has blinked. But I don't know how the 41's getting away with it, but he's driving quite a quick race. Belleville ahead of Alexander by 6 seconds. Jack Mulkey behind the 4-1 car. Alexander and Dustin Painter now arm wrestling for the 2nd spot. Elridge George goes green, 40.03 seconds for the Bahamian. Up 7 places from where he started. If you just tuned in, Aiden Norman, the 6-time winner and points leader coming into this race, facing Cody Pennell, who's driving arguably, just like last week, one of his best races of the season. Last week at Charlotte, Cody Pennell with a pit road penalty. This week at Michigan, with the internet connection going out for the number 28 car. Noah Belleville still blinking at the front, 6 seconds ahead of this battle for the 2nd position. And Riley Wright says, save some room for me, man. He's trying to come in and race with these guys too. Dustin Painter in 2nd, Jason Alexander in 3rd, and there is one of those Bluegrass Bandits, Riley Wright, in that 4th position. They've got 20 laps to go. Now 1-9 at the line. We're going to see what they can pull together. As Honeybrink crashed, John Honeybrink in big trouble in the number 20. It looks like he's gone by himself. Let's see what happened. Trying to enter pit lane in that number 20 Monte Carlo. And that's exactly what happened. The Talladega winner just losing control of his race car and going in the wrong way towards pit road. So Noah Belleville and his terrible internet connection continue to lead the way, 6 seconds ahead of Dustin Painter. Riley Wright has decided he's going to try and take both of these guys on the outside. That's North Carolina, Kentucky, and South Carolina all fighting for that 3rd position. Wright in the 2-9 has the chance for a crossover on the 00, but he won't dive to the left just yet. He's going to get some draft on Dustin Painter in that 00 car. What about the 5-6 of Jason Alexander? What does he have planned? Welcome back to the race. Ryan Pennell, whose internet connection has been restored, and the number 12 car is going to rejoin proceedings in the 15th position, while Wright, Painter, and Alexander fly around them. Cody Pennell still being scored out of this race, but Ryan's going to put on for his local fans, and the number 12 is going to come back out onto the racing surface. Noah Belleville leading by 6.3 seconds, and that's how stable his internet is, the way he blinks ahead of Jack Mulkey. There's the 2-9 of Riley Wright, who's in 2nd. Jason Alexander still trying to hold off his friend Dustin Painter with 16 laps to go. Mulkey behind the race leader, Belleville, 4-1. Looks like he's, nope, I was just going to say, it looks like he's stabilized, but of course he hasn't. Aiden Norman now on the outside of Elridge George, this for the 8th position, and it's all about damage control now for the young driver. A 4-point lead headed into this race, about to be crushed, but Tom Sears not in the lineup tonight. Cody Pennell 39 points off of Aiden Norman, and Cody also being scored out of this race after the internet connection fails him. Norman in 9th. Riley Wright in the 2nd position. Noah Belleville is 6 seconds ahead with 15 laps to go. But the unfaithful internet connection for Belleville Will it last him as long as he needs it? It's been good for the first 105 laps, but Belleville continues to blink at a furious rate. And if it could happen to the Pinnells with that internet connection, it can happen to Belleville as well. 14 laps remain, and Briley Wright is 6 seconds off the race leader. Jason Alexander ahead of Dustin Painter by 0.2 of a second, and Elrich George leading Aiden Norman for the 8th position. Half a second sits between them. Lucky number 13 laps to go next time by. Fans, don't forget, put exclamation point TNT giveaway 14 for your chance to win a Christopher Bell and Dale Jr. diecast. Anybody that puts exclamation point TNT giveaway 14 into Twitch has a chance to win. These two are just going to keep on fighting all afternoon long as the golden hour sets into Michigan. Jason Alexander drag racing with his good friend Dustin Painter for that 3rd and final podium spot. Painter to the inside of Alexander, but will he make it stick this time? Ryan Pinnell looking to split the both of them, and here comes the driver from Lansing looking to make it 3 wide. Dustin Painter gets around Jason Alexander for the 3rd position. Pinnell, who's now racing for pride and for every last point he can get in his hometown race, to the inside of the 00, and he thinks otherwise as Dustin Painter cuts off the 12. Pinnell now with the momentum out of turn number 2. Both of these guys leaving Jason Alexander in their dust. It'll be 11 laps to go next time by. And how about Dustin Painter in the 3rd position, giving it everything he's got, and if you keep on trying, good things will eventually happen. Good for him so far, sitting in 3rd. Still a lot of work to be done. Jason Alexander, no slouch at all. The South Carolinian knows how to get the job done. Noah Belleville still leading with what is surprising, because Belleville has had quite the stable internet connection all season long. And coming up this afternoon, the 41 with big troubles, but putting in a quick enough pace to where he's leading this race by 5.3 seconds over Briley Wright. Belleville last pitted on lap 90, however. Will the undercut cost him? And the camera skipping like that is making me absolutely sick. We cannot stay on Belleville like that. Briley Wright in the 2.9 being overtaken by Ryan Pinnell, but that's not for position. Lansing, Michigan's Ryan Pinnell sits in 14th spot, 15 laps down. Nine-tenths of a second between North and South Carolina's Dustin Painter and Jason Alexander. Elrich George still 2 seconds ahead of Aiden Norman over the last 5 laps. That's George to Withers. There's the gap over the last 5 laps. Aiden Norman has been almost 2/10 quicker than Elrich George, and he might catch him at the last if it stays green. The Bahamian in the 8th position. Tommy Withers ahead by almost 2 seconds. Briley Wright, 1.2 seconds ahead of Dustin Painter. And there's been the gap between them over the last 5 laps. We'll see what the numbers say on lap 112. Briley Wright, not even 2/100ths quicker than Noah Belleville. Dustin Painter, almost identical times slower than Briley Wright. So Painter really not catching up at a substantial rate. It's going to be 7 laps to go next time by. And when the race started 112 laps ago, if you told me that Noah Belleville would be in the lead with an ailing internet connection, I would have thought you were crazy. And if you told me Briley Wright and Dustin Painter would have been second and third respectively, I would have committed you to a hospital. But look what happens. That's why we love racing. That's why we play the game. Anything is possible. And in the Irish Hills, behind the shadow of the stands of the Michigan Speedway, anything quite literally is possible. We're going to see these drivers finish out the next 7 laps. And fans, don't forget you've got a chance at those diecasts. You know the code by now. And if you don't, one more time, it's exclamation point TNT giveaway 14. Check out your prize on Rick James TV and Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. Elrich George has the 6-2 creeping in his rearview mirror. But up ahead, Tommy Withers is half a second away from the Bahamian. The Virginian driver's up 3 places from where he started, and he'd love to hold on to the top 7, but will it be up to him? Or will the number 40 find his way around the 6? The Clearwater Assassin from Nassau on the inside of the Virginian. Elrich George has the 7th position, and he's up 9 places from where he started. Tommy Withers in the 6th, looking to get one back on the Bahamian. It will be 4 laps to go next time by. And there's contact. There goes the 40. There's the 6. Contact between them, and the first crash of the race with 5 laps to go. Noah Belleville leading Briley Wright by 5 seconds. We stay green. Briley Wright within 5 seconds to Belleville. Contact between Tommy Withers, and there is the caution for the first time tonight. Tommy Withers and the 40 of Elrich George crashing in turn number 1. Have a look and a listen on board the 6. Now with Elrich George. Oh. Not what we wanted to see. Coming on to the front straight. Have a look. One more look with Tommy Withers. Just looked like 2 guys going for the same piece of real estate. It's hard to tell. But Noah Belleville is your race leader. Briley Wright is going to be just behind him. Nobody has come down pit road, and there you see just the atrocious internet connection from Noah Belleville. Local saying that Norman has a chance, and we'll see who still has a set of tires, who doesn't. Drivers yet to come down pit road. And we're going to take a break in this first yellow. It took 115 laps to get there. But we're going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to set up for the first of 3 green-white checkered attempts. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. The raffle is still on, and we're going to have a sensational Michigan Speedway finish. Back in 2 minutes for the conclusion of TNT Round 14. Lights are out atop the pace car at the Michigan International Speedway. Only two drivers coming down pit road, Tommy Withers and Elrich George, will have tires that are 28 laps more fresh than the rest of the competition. Aiden Norman, the six-time winner, is up to 7th. He's going to line up behind Thomas Andrews, the defending champion, in 6th. Matty Kent in 5th. South Carolina's Jason Alexander in 4th. North Carolina's Dustin Painter in 3rd, Kentucky's Briley Wright in 2nd, and with some of the worst internet connection I've seen leading this race, Noah Belleville at the front. With 4 miles to go in round 14, they wait for the signal, and green flag is out. Briley Wright in the 2nd position, now chasing down Noah Belleville. It's going to be a battle of the draft if Wright can stay with the 41. Belleville continuing to blink furiously. Painter 0.6 of a second behind. Aiden Norman trying to get to the inside of defending champion Thomas Andrews. This for 6th. Half a second up at the front. Noah Belleville with Briley Wright chasing him down. White flag in the air. It's a race now, no matter what happens. Belleville, his internet connection might just go the distance. Aiden Norman on the outside of Thomas Andrews for the 6th position. Will the 62 be able to hold on? Will he go too high? There goes defending champion who goes too high. Norman turns him around outside turn number 2. Everybody looking to avoid the defending champion, who's now down to 10th. Noah Belleville sitting ahead of Briley Wright by 3 seconds, who will mount one last charge, but with a defiant internet connection. Belleville comes out of turn number 4 and wins round 14 at Michigan. Briley Wright in the 2nd position. Dustin Painter coming home in 3rd. And how about that? It only took one green-white checkered attempt. Noah Belleville gets the job done in the 41. He gets congratulations from Briley Wright in the 29. And with a seriously messed up internet connection, I cannot believe he got the job done. Noah Belleville in the 41. Look at that, just absolute seizure of an internet connection. Can't, what do you even do with that? Camera can't track him. He's going to try and do burnouts. We're going to try and stay with him, but we're not going to give you this this wretched experience with the camera trying to track that 41. But Belleville's going to celebrate the best that he can. Fans, don't forget you get one last chance to put in the code !TNT giveaway 14. See what we can do. Maybe he'll just park it and we'll call it good for the 41. So Belleville's your winner, and the Irish Hills fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to have podium interviews in just a moment. On the podium now with our top three. We're about to end that raffle. Let's talk to our bronze medalist first. Dustin Painter in the 00, Ryan Truex Camry. How about a bronze medal, buddy? When's the last time you were up on the podium? Good job.
I had a month where I had no computer, so it's been a while. Getting back in the swing is about 3 weeks into racing again. Just hadn't knocked the rust off, but yeah, it's been a while. It's been about 3 weeks.
And what a way to come back with that third place finish. Headed into the semifinal next week at Bristol, man. We go from 2 miles to a half mile and that great Coliseum. What can we expect out of you there?
Hopefully, more of the same. Just consistency, trying to, get a win. I've come close. I've got a bunch of seconds and a bunch of thirds. Just tonight, just came up a little short. Of course, Cody had us by a long shot, and then he unfortunately had internet issues. So then, there at the end, Noah came in a lap earlier than me, and I think that made a huge difference. And then there at the very, very end, I knew I was catching Briley, but probably needed another lap. I was literally to his inside right there, but probably wouldn't have mattered. He would have passed me there on the outside if it had been another lap. But it was fun racing both of them. Just congrats to Noah and congrats to Briley because I think that may be his first top three in TNT.
Congrats to you, man. You got that third place finish tonight, and we'll see you in a week.
All right, thanks, man.
Let's talk to Briley Wright, one of those bluegrass bandits in the number 29. Briley, is he right? Is this your first top three this season?
I finished second at Darlington another race. I probably should have, could have won, I guess. But yeah, you know what they say: second place is just the first loser. So it kind of sucks to swallow this one to get that close and then not be able to make the pass. I think it just ate my tires up trying to catch them whenever we had that green flag run at the end. I thought it was going to go green, but just didn't have enough there at the end on those last couple laps to get around Noah.
Still a brilliant drive for you. I mean, you came up in second place and really close to getting a win as well, but it looks like Belleville's pit strategy may have just done it. 0.6 of a second, the gap at the end. But of course, you're headed into Bristol next week, man. What can we expect out of you? Can you might be able to do one better? What do you know?
Yeah, hopefully I do one better. Hopefully we finish first at Bristol. I feel pretty good at that track. I've been getting a little bit more comfortable with that track on iRacing. I think in the A squared race I finished like third or fourth or something like that. But yeah, I think we'll be contending for the win at Bristol. So hopefully that's the way it goes.
For now, man, I think you've earned a celebration and a cold beverage as well. Congratulations on second, man. We'll see you in a week.
See you, Rick.
Fans at home, we're going to take just a slight pause before we talk to our race winner to see which one of you all ends up winning these two awesome diecasts. That Christopher Bell and Dale Jr. 2-pack will be awarded to, how about Local getting that fan package once again? So Local is going to get the Dale Jr. and the Christopher Bell diecast sent over to him. And next week, Local is ineligible to win our semi-final giveaway, but he will be eligible to win in the final. Stay tuned to Thursday Night Thunder Twitter to find out what we'll be giving away for next week's raffle at Bristol. And how about a word with our race winner now, driver of that number 41 Valvoline Chevrolet with an absolutely destructive internet connection. Noah Belleville, from green to checkered, you did not stop blinking, but who knows? Maybe that was the secret on the way to your victory tonight, man. Great job.
It's quite ironic, isn't it? It seems that the internet connections tonight were not so great, and I thought that I was gonna be the first one to lag out, but I ended up winning because other people lagged out. So how about that? But yeah, I that was unfortunate. I before the race, I knew it was gonna be bad before the race, and I was trying to fix it, but it I couldn't figure anything out. So I just tried to keep my distance from people. But yeah, we gotta I gotta win.
You got the win, and now you're going to go into Bristol. This after just a lot of frustrating for you, man. It's your second victory this season, and who knows, man? Can you get that hat trick at Bristol?
Um, Bristol went pretty well for me in A squared, and yeah, I know those are different cars, but I missed it by .002 at Bristol. So hopefully we can. I think it'll be a good run there. That's a fun track.
We'll see what happens in a week, but for now, you get your chance to celebrate. Go on and enjoy the evening. Congratulations on that win.
Yep, thanks, Rick.
Fans at home, another chapter of Thursday Night Thunder is in the books. 2 more races to go in the TNT season, but don't fret. We'll be with you every single step of the way, and next week we're going to have a special guest in the booth, so don't you worry. The Thursday Night Thunder semi-final next week from Bristol Motor Speedway, unofficially. Aiden Norman will head into the semifinal with a 44-point lead over Tom Sears and a chance to clinch at the half mile. Stay tuned to Twitter for more news regarding Rick James TV and Thursday Night Thunder, and of course, stay tuned for more upcoming information on the ARCS MX5 Cup starting Monday, November 7. And until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will, as always, see